Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's April 21st, 2014. To my right is Cody Bills and I'm Brock Shimbino. We had a mostly negative day in Chicago. Let's turn over the quotes to see how we ended. Corn was down 6 1/4 cents. Soybeans off 15 1/4 cents, and wheat down 23 cents. Cody, we did have a mostly negative day today. What were you looking at, and why was the market down today?
Well, I think one of the main things is just the weather, and it seemed like a switch was flipped over the weekend. We saw some very high temperatures throughout the Midwest over Easter, and it really looks like over the next 10 days we're going to have some very strong or above average temperatures. But according to Planalytics, they're reporting they're expecting to see between 3 to 6 degrees over normal here, and that's really going to help out that soil moisture and get those planters rolling here. I think that's one of the main reasons why we did see some selling for corn and soybeans. Wheat was a little bit interesting, though. We didn't see any major rain events, and that's what wheat really needs right now. Their conditions for that winter wheat crop is very, very poor right now. We didn't see any major rain events, but it looks as though we have a little bit of a mixed forecast going forward. The European and the American weather models seem to be a little bit in conflict here, but the American weather model does show more precipitation here for the southern plains. It also shows, according to Planalytics here, their forecast is that we should get a couple rain events for the southern plains here on the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th here. We also had export inspections driving trade action this morning, Brock. Corn seemed to outperform here. Where does that leave us in terms of meeting the USDA expectations?
You know, corn was really the highlight in the export inspections report this morning. We came in at 1.599 million metric tons being exported last week. Wheat came in at the low end of expectations, 495,000 metric tons, and soybeans at 138,000 metric tons. So nothing really special for wheat and soybeans. But if we take a look at where corn stands for this market year, take a look at this chart here. The red bars are what we're seeing for weekly exports. The green line is what we need to see to meet current USDA projections. You can see over the last 5 weeks we've been beating that pace pretty easily over the last 5 weeks or so. And that actually puts us on the marketing year for up about 12 million bushels ahead of that pace. So this is the first time all year long that we've actually been ahead of that pace to meet the current USDA projections. So a big week for corn, the biggest week we've seen for export inspections since June of 2008. So that was definitely driving the trade and keeping a little bit of a bid under the market in an otherwise negative day.
So it looks like a lot of corn here moving the country and moving out of the country, but we did have crop progress. Now this kind of reflects the weather leading up to Friday and how much the planters have been rolling. What did we see? What did we expect, and what do you think is going to happen going forward?
You know, take a look at this table here. You can see that the average for this time of year is about 14% on corn planting. What the analysts were expecting going into the report this afternoon was 9%, and the last column there is what we actually got reported. So the 6% that we got reported today was a little bit behind what analysts were expecting, and definitely behind where we should be for this time of year. Another couple numbers that we're going to be paying attention to off that report is 34% good to excellent rating for the wheat conditions. That was left unchanged week on week. Analysts were expecting a slight revision lower, so that might be a little bit more bearish on the wheat market. Shouldn't have too much of an effect. In spring wheat, we saw 10% was planted there, and that's about half of where we should be for this time of year. So I guess the big number to take away out of the crop progress report is going to be that 6% planted on the corn planting. Might see a little bit of a bid under the market coming in the overnight session, especially after the sell-off today, but longer term, like you said, Cody, weather going forward is going to be really the driver in the corn market.
Yeah, and that weather going forward seems to be very positive to getting this corn planting number jacked up here. So if you have any questions about what we talked about today, give us a call at 877-472-4607. Remember, if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and take a demo of the mobile trading platform. You can see these grain futures quotes on your phone when you're out in the field. Very, very handy for producers that are on the go. So thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you later on tomorrow.